there is something very important and vital that you should know. Every Jew, Christian, and believer should know this and be aware of what's coming. You should be awake and see what's coming. Everybody that I've addressed this to have recognized what I'm saying is true, and they're like, yeah, dude, man, I believe what you're saying is right. But I want you to understand this. What is coming up in the presidential election and the things that I see coming, I want to make sure that you are fully aware of what is coming. I am seeing a possibility that Trump may win the 2024 elections. Now, I'm not saying this is set in stone, but what I see is a perfect storm that is coming. That he's rallying up every Christian, every Jew, and every believer, and every conservative and right-wing believer in politics. And what is he going to do? He's going to round these people up. Evangelicals will start to stand up and start to praise this man. And what is going to happen? He's going to end the wars in places like Russia and Israel and these other places around the world and continue to bring peace. We're going to see these things start to happen. But what's going to happen? There's something called a Project 2025. And you'll be like, what is that? It's a conservative funded, it's multi-million dollars being funded and pushed into these movements to transform the world or America as we know it, to go back to the roots of fundamental Christianity and conservatism. You're like, that's great, wonderful. But I want you to pay attention to the dangers of what this is going to be. It looks great on the surface when you're seeing, oh, we're going to try to ban pornography. We're going to put more stricter things on contraceptives and policies on contraceptives and abortions and things like that. You're like, this is great. And you're looking at it, you're like, bring God back into school and the 10 Commandments and, you know, and start forcing these things. This is great. There's going to be a lot of things, like, for example, what he's saying when he gets back in office, he's going to use the military to get the illegal immigrants and round them up in the basic concentration camps, holding camps, before transitioning them back to South and Central America, right? Most conservatives and Christians are going to be like, woo, good job, good job, good job. I'm loving this. Look, we're getting rid of pornography. We're bringing back fundamental morals and values and the foundation of Christianity that every American needs, every person in the world needs, right? But what's going to happen? This is what you have to realize. Just like Trump was trying to sell you, he has sold people a $60 Bible, right? He compares himself often to Jesus, saying that he's being crucified like Jesus. He's saying, I am the chosen one, as he's looking up to heaven. I want you to pay attention to this. He's grounding up Christians and conservatives. And what's going to happen, and I'm going to get back into history in just a minute, there's going to be laws that are going to be passed where people are going to clap and cheer and praise this. What's going on, and Christians and churches are going to rally around this and be like, this is amazing. But what's going to happen? Some laws are going to pass and it looks like we're moving forward, like we're progressing in a healthy way. But what's going to happen? It's going to piss off the left. It's going to piss off the liberals and the Democrats, the feminists and the homosexuals, these people that completely don't like God whatsoever. And what it's going to do, and hear me out, in the future, it's setting up a foundation for Christians, Jews, and every believer to be in conservative to completely be attacked in the future, because we're pushing this, pushing these policies and forcing it upon everybody. And it's not necessarily led by God. You're praising a leader that looks like he's doing right and just things, but it's going to come crashing down on the people's heads, and it's going to backfire to where now Christians and Jews and conservatives are going to be completely persecuted at the next presidential election after Trump. Does this make sense? Pay attention to what I'm saying, because this is what I see happening. I guess people forgot about January 6th. Have we forgotten? When I was on social media, 18,000 plus followers, and it got 500,000 views, and these people, I say, do not go to the White House on January 6th. And you have Messianic Jews and Christians and conservatives all hoarding to January 6th. And what happened? It was a setup. And what did this setup happen? Oh, now I see all these social Christian influencers and conservative influencers having the FBI show up at their house. Those that were following God, were listening to God, knew, do not go. Do not go, because God is not with you. I even posted verses saying, God is not with you. It was like that, the one time back with the prophet was telling, when all these other false prophets are saying, go to war, go to war, go to war. And the one prophet goes, do not. And they hated this man. And I'm not saying I'm a prophet, not comparing myself to a prophet. What I'm saying is the men and women of God that are hearing, do not go. So you're rallying around Trump once again, walking into like cows going to a slaughter. And this is setting you up to be destroyed. And this is how Christians and Jews and conservatives are going to be severely hated and persecuted in the future. You don't realize what's coming up. There's AI, there's blockchain, there's so many other things that is completely gaining information. It knows what your interests are, knows what your thoughts are, knows the movements, and knows biometrics, and knows what you're predicting what you're going to do. These are all things that's taking loads of information, and these leaders know this. They're going to use this information. So long ago, I had a vision of Trump in front on the side of the White House. He won a gold Oscar, a Grammy, and then there was Biden winning another Grammy. There's people around each, and his was a silver Grammy, and they're all together praising one in each politician. And inside the White House, I saw Mike Pence, and I saw Obama, and I saw Hillary Clinton. I saw conservatives and Democrats together. But in that vision, I saw a wheelbarrow where Trump was putting envelopes into the wheelbarrow of Biden. Okay, so what was in those envelopes? It's all I heard. It's sealed up until a point in time. I don't know what it meant. But now you're seeing, guys, they're playing both sides, and you cannot choose left or right. If you know anything about the history of Nazi Germany, what had happened? You had Hitler start saying, we're a Christian movement. He rallied up the Christians and everybody that was right wing, and he got them on his side, started basically demonizing the left and making them look terrible, and like he's the savior of this nation. Everything he was doing was great. He was destroying, getting rid of people like Trump is wanting to do with the FBI and the Department of Justice. He's wanting to get rid of portions of it and people in it and transform the whole entire government. You're like, woo, this is amazing, right? Hitler did the same thing, and Christians rallied around him. Does this make sense? And as they started seeing people go to the slaughter that were supporting these movements, and if you know anything about what's going on right now, what Trump is going to do, just like he's going to use the military or whatever to bring the illegals back to their country, if he can get past that, what is it going to happen? And not only that, he's saying, we're going to go into cities like Chicago and get rid of the crime and clean up the cities and all these, and people are like, woo, amazing. But what do you not see that's coming? Anything in the future that goes against the policies and the laws or any government institution or leaders, you're going to be persecuted the same way as everybody else. Does this make sense? And you're like, I don't see that whatsoever. It's going to happen. And if you are not seeing the direction it's going with these blind people shouting Trump or Biden or whatever, shouting for these politicians, and if you're not in America, whatever country you're in, do you not see it? There's some people that are used by God, but you have to use discernment and be close to God. And there's only one Savior and one King and one Messiah, and that's Yeshua, Jesus. The very one you should be trusting in and turning to. You can't rely on these world leaders. If you look at Project 2025, you're going to see so much that's going to be like, wow, this is amazing. I want to support this. Right? But you don't see what's really coming. For me, I know the things that are going to come. AI is going to be tremendous. Blockchain is going to be tremendous. Like this. I know This is incredible technology that is built on a blockchain that is going to track every single citizen. Why am I wearing the hat? I don't know. Because it opens up conversation a lot. I know the usefulness of these technologies, but I know the direction in this, how evil it's going to be used for. I've said it many years ago. I messed with Ethereum and everything else many years ago. I've been aware of these things and the direction it's going. But what I'm here to tell you, it's going to be a global enslavement with blockchain and artificial intelligence. It will completely control and track every movement and everything that you do. It will have, and the world leaders are going to be in on this. This, you got to understand, the people put into power are selected. We don't select them. Okay? So be careful who you're rallying behind. I'm going to see a huge rally and movement praising a man that's going to rise up. I seen it long ago, and I said it way back in 2017. A dark figure rose up, and I was seeing it. It looked like a womanly figure. I don't know if it was feministic, whatever it was, but there was a figure that rose up that was a dark figure, looked black, whatever. I don't know, and people were praising it. So my point is, you have to be aware what's rising up. I seen it rising up in 2024. And it was between New York and Washington, D.C. Pay attention. Do not let your guard down and don't go into the direction of the masses. The direction of the masses is always a deception. You have to learn to think for yourself. In the future, AI, artificial intelligence, is going to think for every single person. Any question you want, anything you want to know, anything they're trying to figure out, you'll search and get the instant answers. But guess what? These are only answers that has been programmed by people to feed you, and other truthful answers are going to be blocked out. It's just like when you search something on let's just say Google or anything else. What are they going to do? Show you the first 1 or 2 pages, right? And that's a majority of what people are going to believe, rather than going into the next, let's say, 1,000 pages and where the truth really lies. They're going to feed you truth that is not really true. Does that make sense? And masses are going to believe these things. Same with social media. There's going to be so much confusion. And one thing that you have to know, just like flat earth, the pyramids in Egypt, the aliens built this and all this, and these ancient archaeological artifacts, and there's a portal that is in the Grand Canyon, and all these different lies and conspiracies people are getting caught up in. Oh, we found a petrified angel in Europe. Guys, focus on the Bible. Focus on changing your heart, soul, and mind, and repenting. Focus on God. The more conspiracies that rise up, and you're like, this ain't conspiracy. Yes, it is. The more conspiracies that rise up in a society is a sign before collapse. And fascism is capitalism in decay. So what do you think is really rising up? I want you guys to pay attention. This is the truth that's coming right now, and you have to be aware of what is here and what is coming. Because think now why it's still illegal. There is so much rising up right now that so many people are blind to. You aren't going to find this on social media. Most of the people just yapping are the majority of the people that are not sitting silently, gaining self-awareness, self-reflecting on themselves, asking God to search their heart, soul, and mind, and search deep within themselves, removing things that don't belong, and bringing up things that should be brought up, like the positive traits and characteristics and morals and values that are according to God. These are the things that you should be focusing on. You should be focusing on being a better version of yourself and closer to God. Forgiving those that you have unforgiveness for, getting rid of hatred and bitterness and sexual immorality and lust and addictions and things that control your mind and have precedence in your mind. These are the things you should be focusing on. Everything else is a distraction. Why do you think we're having conventions of flat earth and everybody trying to prove people that don't believe in a round earth as wrong? And they're using portions of the Bible so that you believe what they're believing, and they think this is a salvation issue. I want you to realize something. The lies are all over. But it's up to you to believe what is true. You can't rely on a church. You can't rely on this person over here, or my pastor. You can't rely on a school. You can't rely on an education system, a world leader. You can't rely on a politician. You can't rely on a social media influencer or anybody else. It's up to you to choose, and it's up to you to find God. With all your heart, soul, and mind, if you seek him, he will reveal it. If you need to be a better version of yourself, you know every single person in this world needs therapy. Go to a Christian therapist. Better yourself. Improve yourself. Everybody has negative traits and things that don't belong that should be removed. Everybody needs to be a positive and healthy version of themselves. But very few people would actually try to fix themselves. That's why they couldn't handle the words of Yeshua, Jesus. That's why people can't handle the truth. The truth will set you free. It's not man's truth, it's God's truth. And if you know God's truth by the Spirit that he's put in you and that you're seeking, that you desperately want, you repent from your sins and change and seek him with our heart, soul, and mind, he will save you and put his Spirit in you. And guess what? You'll begin to see, as long as you stay humble. Don't be like Asa, where he became prideful and he turned on God, and guess what? He had no power of God. God couldn't work in him any longer because he became prideful. Don't be like Judas, a lover of money, where he's focused on money and seeking money and riches and prosperity over God. It's betraying Jesus. You have to seek the things of the kingdom, not on earth. This is what God is saying. Stop getting caught up in the social media. The people that are caught up in social media and all these trends that are going on and all these false movements and lies and conspiracies are people that have no self-reflection. They can't look in their heart, in their mind. They don't take time to sit in silence. They don't take time to pray. They don't seek God whatsoever. So they have to distract themselves. That's why they distract themselves with things like sports and their jobs and everything else in this life. And then they're getting caught up in these false movements because God is sending strong delusions of people that never trusted in the truth as to be saved. Does this make sense? Now is the time to come out of this world system. Now is a time to look up. Now is a time to start preparing who God destined you to be. The healthiest version of yourself that you can be. Now is not a time to worship a world leader. Now is a time to be set apart, not go into the ways of society and the masses. They want you to conform. They want you to be like them. They want you to pick sides, but you don't pick sides because the truth is always in the middle. You choose left or right, but the truth is in the middle. You don't pick a political side, right? If somebody tells you this is true and this is true, and you have two sides, the truth is somewhere in the middle. If somebody has a conflict and they're saying this person's the problem, this person's the problem, somewhere in the middle is the truth. Don't pick a side. My point is, Christians and Jews and every believer is going to be viciously attacked in the future because of these things that we're pushing that's going to piss off the left and the people that hate God so much. It's going to piss them off so bad, and we're going to be attacked. I'm just saying it. Do with what you will with it, but this is the way I see it going. Shalom and God bless you.